Hi guys, it's Angie Bell with my fairy treasures. Okay, I'm coming around. Hi guys. Okay, this is my mixed media knitting podcast. And the reason I started calling it, I haven't done a knitting podcast for a while, but I decided to call it mixed media knitting podcast because Angie's mixed media knitting podcast, because that's more me, you guys. I'm not going to be the traditional knitter. I'm coming at it from a whole nother realm of like mixed media art that I do, and I've just incorporated that like into my knitting and spinning art yarn. So, and you guys will understand what I'm talking about. If you watched my show before, it's very similar to what I was doing before, but even more. So just see if you guys are, keep watching and see if this interests you, because it is different. Okay, so I want to talk about what I'm working on right now. I have it in my project bag, and my project bag is this. This is a tote, and the picture on it is a Native American. I painted this Native American a couple years ago, and then my husband had it printed on these totes for me. So that's my project bag. And let me show you the project that I'm working on. And you're going to see how this is mixed media knitting in just a minute. So just a second, let me grab the yarn that I used. I have a whole bag of yarn over here. Please let this be the right one. Okay, perfect. Move this stuff. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I am making, let me grab my notes. Just a second, guys. Just a second. All right, I'm coming back around, you guys. What I'm making is a shawl, and what you do, not a shawl, but a slouchy cardigan. And to make it, you make one big square, and then from there you turn the square over, you stitch up the sides, and then it kind of slouches in the back. And so it's called a slouchy cardigan. And then it comes to like right here, probably for the arms. It's super easy. It's all garter stitch. I want to do this again and do it in the wheat stitch, because I'm learning how to do that right now. Anyway, let me show you. So it doesn't look like anything right now because I'm just making like a nice big long square. So, but you guys, you know what I love? Look at the colors. These colors are gorgeous. Okay, so I have another ball. I have to finish this ball. And then if I do a whole nother ball, I should be where I want to be at. If not, then I will do another ball. And you just do it to the length that you want to do it to. And like I said, you take the big square and you'll fold it over like this. And then I believe you fold it over and like this. It's hard to explain, but as soon as I get done knitting it, I will... of course, I'll show it to you guys. And also, you can go, there's a lady on YouTube. Let me get my notes. How to knit oversized shrug. And she tells you exactly how to do it. All the directions are on YouTube. And it's called The Pattern Family. That's the name of her YouTube channel. The Pattern Family. I'll put the links below. And it says how to knit an oversized shrug pattern. And it works out. At this point, I think it always will. I do better with watching a video and then taking directions from seeing somebody do something. Reading it drives me nuts. It's like reading patterns is like puzzles. I cannot stand a puzzle, okay? So you guys are probably never going to see like super difficult knitting patterns from me. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe as I get more experience, I will. But anyway, I also like to spin art yarn. And that's also what I'm going to incorporate into this. So... oh, one other thing I want to show you guys really quick. Oh, I'm trying to think of too many things at one time. Look at these knitting needles. Are those gorgeous? It totally matches what I'm working on too. I got these from Knit Picks. They're nice. And they're wooden. Kind of like a real slick wooden. So it's kind of almost doing with metal, like a metal needle. But it's still kind of like doing wood. I like it. I like the balance. Okay, and the yarn I used is, it's synthetic. It is Yarn Inspirations Karen Cake. And it's 80%, okay, well, it's not all. It's 80% acrylic and 20% wool. Okay. And the color is gorgeous. You guys look at that. What is the colorway called? The colorway is called, where is it? It's called Pumpkin Chai. And I love me some pumpkin chai tea, or just chai tea. Look how gorgeous that is. Does that look like the most perfect cup of pumpkin chai? I'm making a video.
Okay, I didn't have any luck, so I gotta go back.
Kyle, I'm making a video.
Okay.
You didn't hear me say that?
Yeah, headed back down.
Alright. So, sorry about that, guys. So, there's the pumpkin chai. And, so that's the one I used for that. And I've used one ball so far. I'm working on my second ball, and I think after my third ball, it'll be enough. If not, I'll add one more ball to get it to the length that I want to get it to. I think this is going to come out gorgeous. And to really see the end result, go to the pattern family. You can go to How to Knit an Oversized Shrug, okay? And it's basically an oversized slouchy cardigan. That's how it ends up looking, like an oversized slouchy cardigan. Okay, so let me put this aside. Now, how it's mixed media knitting is, I am in the middle of spinning some art yarn that's going to be fringe hanging off of this slouchy cardigan. Okay, this is the art yarn. To some people, this will look like a complete mess, and to some people, it will be totally yummy. So, like, let me explain. Like, this right here are some sheep locks, and I get the sheep locks from different people on eBay, and let me get another sheep's lock. And I dye it myself. I dye it with cake dye, and I also use Kool-Aid, believe it or not, with vinegar. I need to do a couple videos on that, of dyeing. So that's a sheep lock right there that I've dyed. And then this right here is, it looks, I call this my horse's mane or horsetail art yarn, horsetail art yarn, because it looks like a horse's mane. That's what I want it to look like. This right here is called, I want it to look like little horse, like little horse tails. I'm trying to think what that stuff is called. Flax. It's flax. So it's the fibrous part of the plant. Isn't that cool? So that's what this right here looks like. It looks like horsetails. And then the other things in here are just different types of knots and baubles and coils and things like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how I make this art yarn. At the end of this video, in part 2, I'm going to show you guys how I spin this. How I spin this art yarn. So, alright. And while we're on that subject, oh, let me show you this. So, what I'm going to do, like I said, is that will be cut up in pieces. And I will, crochet it. Yeah, I'll use a crochet hook and crochet it into this slouchy cardigan, which I think is going to look gorgeous. Let me show you guys. As fringe. What it's going to look is funky, which is what I like, which is right up my alley. I like funky. I told you guys it's not going to be the normal type of knitting. So look how cool that's going to look together. Awesome! Yeah, that's going to be really, really cool. Okay. People are going to be like, what is that? How did you do all that? And what is that? Okay, let me put this away. I wanted to share... Okay. I wanted to share some of the sheep locks that I have recently dyed. And I dyed this all with... I think it was all cake dye on this one. So this is what it looks like. Look at all that. and I have tons of it. But let me just break a few pieces, some of the sheep locks apart so you can see. Okay, so there's a sheep's lock. And if you want to get into this type of work or order sheep's locks, I go on eBay. And it's never the same place because people shear their sheep at different times. So I never end up ordering from the same person. But you want to get long wool, very long wool sheep, because you want the hair to be nice and long. You don't want little short pieces. So, and what I'll do is I'm looking for a pen to write that down. I'll remember. I will write down the exact type of sheep this is. So you can be looking for these type of sheep for the long wool sheep if you want to do something like this. And like I said, at the end of the video, well, after this video, in the second part, I will do a, I'm going to do like a spin with me video for the second part of this video. And I'm going to start doing that in my videos. I'll start, the first part will be kind of like what I'm working on, what I bought, and all of that. And then part 2 will be me demoing spinning art yarn for those who want to see it. Okay, so I have a nice big bag of that. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, that colorway is gorgeous. Loving that. So that I dyed to go with the whole slouchy cardigan and getting spun up into this. So, yeah, super excited. Okay. And then, just to show you too, I might have shown this before, but I'll show it again. I dyed some roving, and this is the roving that I'm using in this art yarn here. This is the roving that's I'm spinning into that. Isn't that gorgeous, you guys? And I've used cake dye and Kool-Aid. I think mostly cake dye for this. I love cake dye. There's so many beautiful colors. But so is there in Kool-Aid too. Isn't that cool? Okay, so that's the roving that I dyed. And I get the roving from Knit Picks. And I have to say, okay, you guys, the first time I ordered from them, I got, let me tell you exactly. I got Bare Gloss roving. And I liked that better because it was 70% merino and 30% silk. I think it dyed nicer. It's just really soft, and I really liked working with it. At the time though, it's $10.99 a gram, so you get a big bag of it. You get a bag probably this big. Or it comes in rolls. I'm trying to think how it comes, because I buy so much of it. Anyway, you get 100 grams. And the first time I ordered it, it is $10.99 for a gram of it, which is about that big. But I got it on sale for like $6.99, so I bought a ton of it. But then I went ahead and I wanted to order some more. And when I went back, it was off sale, of course. So then I just ordered bare wool roving of the Angie'S. And it doesn't have, it's not 70% merino and 30% silk. So it's not quite as soft. But I am using it as art yarn, you guys. So it's not like it needs to be the softest stuff. But it's still soft. I mean, if you were to spin this into a worsted weight or whatever, or fingering weight, it would still be soft. But not as soft as 70% merino and silk. So what I'll do is the next time I order some roving from Knit Picks, I'll wait till the 70%, 30% silk goes on sale. So just to kind of let you know if you're ever going to order any of this, what you're looking at. And so, oh, and then I'll explain this too. The core that I use, okay, I like to do a core spinning on my wheel. And the core I use is this, I don't really like this yarn, but you get this like textury looking type of yarn. I forgot what it's even called. From Joann's. Is it from Joann's? Yeah. I think it's not really fun to knit with, but it's great to do core spinning. For one, you can use it as part of your design. And also the wool and the locks. And I use ribbons too. They all grip on to this synthetic. And this is a synthetic yarn. But it's real textured and it grips onto it good. Plus you can use it in your design. And it's strong. So this is a great core for my core spinning. So, and that's the only kind of art yarn I make right now is core spinning art yarn. I am obsessed with it. Let me show you some more yarn that I've done. Some more art yarn. Here's another one. I've shown this before, but I thought I'd show it again. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And this right here is, look how gorgeous that lock is. Isn't that beautiful? That's dyed with Kool-Aid, you guys. Kool-Aid, and I dyed the roving with the Kool-Aid and the cake dye and the sheep's locks. Look at that one. It's just beautiful. So pretty. So, so pretty. Okay, and then here's a couple of other ones. So this is the same. I just did more. If you guys see any red yarn in here, it's only because that's my ties, okay? So that's why you'll see some red yarn. But this is another one I did. I did a bunch of this. Look how gorgeous this is. Isn't that just beautiful? And I did some more. Like I said, I dyed all the sheep's locks and all the roving with the Kool-Aid and the cake dye. Now tell me the cake dye does not do and the Kool-Aid cannot do a fabulous job dyeing. I think it's gorgeous. I was just looking for some locks for you guys to look at. Like, look at this lock. I mean, look how beautiful it comes out. It's just gorgeous. And I totally kettle dye it. I do it in a big, I think that's what it's called, kettle dyeing. I do it in a big pot. And I throw my colors in. Like, look at that. Look at that lock. Look how gorgeous that is. I just think it's so pretty. So I have a lot of this done. So I'll be making a slouchy cardigan and hanging this from that. Also, I think I want to do like an open knit stitch and make a necklace out of some of this too. So I have like a big necklace all full of all this texture, which I think will be cool. And this is some of the first one that I did, and I've shown this one before. I think this is really pretty. And there's sheep's locks in here too that are dyed. There's one that's dyed. And there's another sheep locks that's dyed. And then all the roving was dyed with Kool-Aid and cake dye. I think this is gorgeous. Okay. And to some people, art yarn like this was a big old mess. And to some people, it's like fabulous. And to me, it's fabulous. I am addicted to dyeing yarn. So this is what I'm talking about, mixed media knitting. I'm using a synthetic yarn. Well, it's synthetic and 25% wool. Okay, cake yarn. But at the same time, I'm going to hang fringe made out of all kinds of cool stuff, you know, out of wool roving, out of flax, and then all these different things. So that's what's really cool. Oh, any of these big white chunky pieces that you guys see, this again is yarn to tie it together. So ignore this, like any of these, that's not the stuff. So, in fact, you know what? Let me untie one of these because then you can kind of see. If I can. Yeah, here we go. Thanks. Take that out of there. Okay, so like this section, that's what it looks like without having that big old white piece of yarn that I tied on things with. So that's what it looks like. And then in between there. Yeah, I think that turned out so cool. I love it. I just absolutely love it. So, all right, so where are we at? Well, I don't know if I told you, if you get the bare wool roving without the silk, it's only $4.99 a gram. And that is, it's 100% Peruvian wool. And that, that's the normal price. So if you don't get it with the silk. So, and you don't have to, especially if you're just beginning doing art yarn or just spinning period, then don't spend, you know, especially $10.99, but even $7.99 when it's on sale. So, okay. Next, let me see. Let me grab get some of this stuff out of the way. Let me get this over here because I'm going to do some spinning, so I need to have all this kind of in order. Okay. Next, let's talk about what I have bought over the last, I don't know. This is a mixture of what I bought like a week or two ago and then like a couple months ago, because I went and bought more of what I just got a couple weeks ago. So you guys, this is kind of all pretty new. Okay, anyway, this is Charisma yarn. I got all this at Michael's. I spent under $2, like $1.80, you guys, because one day they had 20%. It came out to like $2 a skein or something. It's normally like $3.49 a skein. It came out to $2 a skein, and then I had a 20% off coupon. So look how gorgeous that is. Isn't that so pretty? Love that. Love. Oh, and the colorway is called, and this is all worsted weight. They say bulky 5, but it's more like a worsted weight. It's a little heavier than worsted. Oh, and that's another thing, you guys. I do not like working with like lace yarn or sock yarn. I'll have to poke my eyes out. Plus, I need a yarn that's pretty thick so that all this art yarn can hang off of it and it has a good base to it. Like this is a bulky yarn right here. Fairly bulky. A little bit higher than, it's a step level higher than worsted on this one. To me, this is just worsted weight. And all that's relative to what people, you know, like to knit with too. And the colorway here is called Ashes. I absolutely love it. Okay, this colorway here is called Mulberry. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Look at all those colors, teals and all the rich colors, deep, deep purple and a deep mauvey magenta, and there's a deep, deep foresty green in there, and browns. Love that. Absolutely love that. Kind of bring the ball band back a little bit so you guys can see that. Absolutely gorgeous. And these are on sale again right now. I was just looking online because there's some other colors that I want to get. Like I need any more colors? No. Okay, this is another one, Charisma, and it's Loops and Threads. All this is Loops and Threads, and it's the Charisma is the other title on it. This colorway is called Eggplant. Oh, obsessed with this. Cannot wait to make something. I can't wait. All this right now, I'm thinking slouchy cardigans, because I'm obsessed with the slouchy cardigan. I have a couple, and I love them, so if I really like how this one turns out, I'll be making a lot of them. Look how gorgeous that is. And each of these, I got 4 to 5 balls of each one. That's how I like to roll, is to buy not just one of anything, because I know me. I'm going to want to make a nice big slouchy cardigan or some type of a poncho, and then I might want to get some mittens out of it, and I might want to get, do some leg warmers. So I try to buy 4 or 5 balls of yarn of each of these. So I bought 4 or 5 of all of these. Okay. Again, this is Loops and Threads, Charisma. I think that's how you say it. And this one is called, what is it called? Toadstool. So pretty. Love this. Look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? And 109 yards is what comes on these, I believe. Yeah. So beautiful. Oh, love this. And again, 4 or 5 balls of that one. Now we're going to go to some tea cakes. And this colorway right here, you guys, they're getting rid of. But they have it online if you want to get this still. In the stores, they've clearanced them out. They had a whole cake stand in Michael's. And I went in there to get a couple more balls of this one color. And I'm like, what? Of the chai tea color. I went in to get a couple more balls of this chai tea color. And the cake stand is gone. It was like a huge cake stand looking thing. And they're clearancing, I think they're clearancing out this colorway. I don't know if I think they'll still have it, but they're going to bring their new colors in. But you can go online and still order almost all the colors if you like what I'm showing you. So let me just grab all these real quick. Now, these were on sale. I believe I got these for $5 a ball, $5.50, something